Today, there are very few positive examples of people with psychosis. You see them as the criminals on TV and in movies. You hear about them in hushed, fearful tones. You only see what outsiders mistakenly perceive them as. I'm here to offer a different perspective. Not to discredit the experiences of those that are struggling with disorders like depression or anxiety, but this show isn't for them. If that is you, though, stick around. You just might learn something. Because this show is unique. This show is for the incurables, the crazies, the people with psychosis and disorders more rare or destructive than just depression. The misunderstood, underrepresented, stigmatized unfortunates that may feel unheard and hopeless. The people like me. So without further ado, let's proceed in this inaugural episode of the Raving Madman with me, your host, Jonathan K. Very few people are diagnosed with a mental illness containing psychotic features at first, and I was no different. I was 14 when I first realized there was something wrong with me. It came as a shock for the people around me to learn I was depressed, but it was even more shocking to me when I first came to the realization. I was at my summer camp, winning our color war, which is always an emotional moment, no matter if you're on the winning team or the losing team. I had wept the 2 years previous, one out of sheer joy and one out of deep sorrow. And after an historic comeback that should have been the pinnacle of my summer, I felt nothing. I was empty. It was like I was a ghost inhabiting my body without the capacity to feel emotions. I didn't have the terms to describe what I was going through at the time. I mean, when you're first conceptualizing depression, you don't think of feeling nothing. You think of suicide and sadness, but what gets you there is the insidious abyss. The void that you throw experiences and hobbies that once got you excited and happy into just for them to get swallowed up in the pit of nothingness. And once consumed by that oppressive malaise, all you can do is give up hope. It took months for my hope to give out. I thought that if I could just grin and bear it, I'd be able to tank the nothingness inside. That all changed at a party thrown for my brother's 13th birthday. At this point, it felt like decades of going through the motions, trying not to think about how much I was thinking about death, and I had been looking forward to this event for months. I mean, if there was going to be anything that inspired some spark of joy in me, it was going to be this night. It didn't work. Once again, I felt that I was haunting myself. I tried to wear the smiles I saw on other people's faces on my own. I tried to dance and sing and do all the things that the other people were merrily doing around me, but nothing worked. So I left early. When I got back, I looked into my mirror, despair inhabiting my face, and whispered, "I will get better." That whisper slowly grew into a scream, chanting that same mantra, "I will get better." I was depressed. If I didn't do something about it, I was going to die. So I dedicated myself to ridding that depression. A few months of Prozac later, I experienced my first full-blown manic episode. To make a long story of troubling incidents and poor decisions short, I'll just tell you the final straw, the last thing that I did that got me my diagnosis. At camp, each age division puts on its own play for the rest of the campers to watch along to. Now, the senior show is unique in that we changed lines to be inside jokes for the rest of the campers to chuckle along with, and these are often the highlight of the senior play. As a lead cast member, not to brag, I spent hours crafting my magnum opus. Some context. Two of the more senior counselors at camp, both in their late 40s to early 50s, got very close very quickly. There were rumors circulating that they were even more than just friends. She also had 2 kids at the camp, and he already was not a fan of me. Back to the story. In front of the man, half of the camp and half of our sister camp, I discreetly modified the line, "Now I won't be able to see my movie," mumbo jumbo gooey gumbo, to the line, "Now I won't be able to see my movie, Joe and Lucy, A Forbidden Love." This was predictably met with a quiet, horrified hush of oohs, as everyone turned to stare daggers at Joe, his face flushed with fury. I was gone the next day. Despite all odds, though, I was allowed to return back 2 weeks later. After multiple sessions of therapy, a new prescription for the drug lamotrigine, and a new diagnosis: bipolar disorder. While this may seem like the end of the story of my diagnosis, it isn't. 1 year ago and 6 years later, I was going through it. It, though, was unfamiliar to me. I had gone through manic episodes and I had gone through depressive episodes, but what I was going through in the spring of 2023 was utterly and terrifyingly new. The depression and the mania were absent, my emotions were in check, yet I was hallucinating. I was imagining voices, whispering promises of parallel universes I could travel to if I could only put my mind to it. I was having delusions of grandeur that I was the protagonist of a supernatural origin with a grander destiny, a destiny I could not articulate but with certainty felt. I was psychotic. The mood stabilizers were working as intended, but I was doing horribly. Often I would curl up in a ball, paralyzed by it, my limbs tingling and my brain sunk into some parallel reality. I talked to my psychiatrist and arrived at my diagnosis destination: schizoaffective bipolar disorder, along with a new prescription, Abilify. But the prescriptions weren't the only thing that got me through my journey of unearthing my illness. My support system was there for me every step of the way, including people just like me, and maybe just like you. In fact, one of my closest friends has a disorder with psychotic features, and it made me feel less alone. Just as they helped me understand and come to terms with my diagnosis, I hope to do the same for you or your loved one. Today, I'm what many would characterize as a certified raving madman. But I'm many other things. I'm a success and I'm accomplished with it. It exists within me. I struggle with it sometimes. It isn't me. It is not my identity. I am stronger than what plagues me and will subdue it. Throughout the many episodes of this podcast, I'll share my perspective on how I've managed to survive and thrive with a disorder with psychosis. I'll bring on other patients who have other success stories, and I'll also bring on experts who understand the topic from a different perspective than mine. I'll also be highlighting some success stories of people that have struggled with psychosis, as well as highlighting new initiatives across the United States and the world to help people like me. This and much more will be accomplished on the Raving Madman, so stick around. You won't regret it. This is the Raving Madman, Jonathan K., signing off. I'll see you soon.